Hello everybody. I was particularly pleased to finally catch up with Eric after about a week. We hadn't, we message one another regularly, mainly to hurl abuse at one another, in the friendliest possible manner of course, but well, it's one of our favourite Scottish pastimes is taking the mick out of one another, which we do on a very, very regular basis. But as I say, we hadn't actually discussed the serious matter of the case for probably about a week, so it was nice to get up at 4:30 in the morning my time so that I could have a chat with Eric. So I apologise if I was a little bit sort of under the weather, but it had been a very, very long weekend for me, and I was not in the best of fettle, as they say. Now obviously at the end of the two-part video which I watched earlier today, Eric basically points out, very important, that we now focus on Brendan's case and the fact that between now and I believe, I can't remember exactly when, but between now and at some point imminent in the future, there are going to be amicus briefs filed or presented or whatever, either in support or against Brendan, and we particularly look forward to seeing what they have to say. So yes, we need to focus on Brendan. To be honest, when I first heard details about making a murderer, and was told that, as I knew him then, the nephew had confessed, I was the same as Mike Holbach. You know, he's confessed. There's your confession. What more do you need? It's all there. Remember that famous scene in the court steps when Emily Matasic asks him, "Have you watched it?" And he said, "No." Very much like Sheriff Herman when they asked him, "Had you watched Making a Murderer?" after he had just criticised him, to which he also had to admit, "No, I haven't." But having watched Making a Murderer, I still couldn't understand why Brendan was acquiescing to everything that Uyghur and Fassbender were saying, even though he did apparently have a mental age of just 11. But then you follow the case and you look into the documents. The one thing that I in particular wanted to do was to contact Manitrock County Sheriff's Department, the head of the Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Herman. And after by the way, I've had one or two people criticising me for doing that and saying, "Oh, you shouldn't try and insert yourself into this." Let's make it perfectly clear. I did start writing emails and phoning him up, making contact, only after I checked with a particularly prominent member of the family who everybody knows, and I was basically given the green light. So just like to make that perfectly clear. I think some people still seem to think that you know, I'm some sort of glory hunter. No, that's not what it's about. It's purely about trying to raise awareness of the corruption in over there in Manitowoc and throughout Wisconsin in general. The fact is that, of course, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department, they have no desire whatsoever to find the truth about Teresa, and they have no need for that truth when it does arrive. They're going to be really hacked off at that. As I say, it's a case of having to now focus on the amicus briefs in support of Brendan and seeing what they bring forward. I saw a little thing on Facebook earlier today, which I've adapted slightly to incorporate the main players, as it were, in Brendan's case. So this is my little rendition of a story that I saw earlier, and that was as follows. In a trial in Manitowoc, defence attorney Len Kachinsky called his first witness, a very elderly woman, to the stand. He approached her and asked, "Mrs. Jones, do you know me?" She responded, "Why, yes, I do know you, Mr. Kachinsky. I've known you since you were a boy, and, quite frankly, you're a big disappointment to me. You lie, you cheat on your wife, you manipulate people and talk about them behind their backs. You think you're a big shot when you haven't the brains to realise you'll never amount to anything more than a 2-bit paper pusher. Yes, I know you." Len was stunned. Not knowing what else to do, he pointed across the room and asked, "Mrs. Jones, do you know the prosecuting attorney?" She again replied, "Why, yes, I do. I've known Ken Kratz since he was a youngster too. He's fat and lazy, bigoted, he has a drugs and a drinking problem, he can't build a normal relationship with anyone, and his law practice is one of the worst in the entire state. Not to mention he cheated on his wife with 3 different women. One of them was your wife. Yes, I know him." At that point, Judge Fox asked both counsellors to approach the bench and in a very quiet voice said, "If either of you 2 idiots ask her if she knows me, I'll send you both to the electric chair. Bye for now."